Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special video today. Today is the day T is introduced to Fallout London. Yes, it's here. Fallout has a mod that brings up the apocalypse wasteland to the glorious UK across the pond. And having played this, I can wholeheartedly say what a mod this is. And there will be lots and lots of English references. And of course, tea, biscuits, crumpets, they're all here, ladies and gentlemen. And in today's video, we answer the question, can we beat Fallout London as an unarmed character? Now, unarmed characters are simple. They use their fists and unarmed weapons, and as far as I'm aware, there are no powerfists or deathclaw gauntlets. None of the usually overpowered unarmed weapons, but we will be stuck with boxing gloves and the knuckle dusters at the very least. Quite the limitation in this run, considering how difficult this mod is. Yep, Fallout London is a lot more difficult than Fallout 4. And anyone who wants to try this though, be warned, this game is very unstable and very difficult to Fallout 4. But as for the rules are very simple. We can only attack with unarmed weapons. Also, the standard no glitch or exploit rules are still in play, and we shall be going ahead on very hard difficulty. So, with the intro done, I would like to mention there will be major spoilers to the story for anyone who hasn't played Fallout London. So, from this point on, you have been warned. If you want to play this game and have not played it, the story will be spoiled. With everything set, let's begin. We start the game, and it's not the normal start we have. We have two scientists, and the voice acting is pretty good. Have a listen.
Adequately. No spikes and visuals. Nothing unusual.
Perfectly usual.
Quiet. Smythe will be pleased.
After making our character, we then have to assign our stats. Now, we want to be able to punch people and take a lot of damage, so it's all in on strength and endurance. And after that, we get traits. Oh yes, they're back from New Vegas, and the good news is, there's quite a few of them. You may have noticed a new avatar as well. We go for our first trait, Gifted, bumping every stat up by +1 at the cost of minus 15% experience gains. And secondly, Puritan, so we get +1 strength and endurance, but they get reverted if we take alcohol or chems. But nothing stopping us from cooking food or drinking tea. And also to note, Stimpaks, Radaway and Radex can all still be used as normal. Then the scene comes to an explosive conclusion. We do our thing, and got to say, this is an excellent introduction. You have tea, bowl hats and of course Britishness, so already enjoying this. We then start punching rats, as you do in London, and in the next room, whilst we don't get a Pip-Boy, there are some here, instead we get what is called an Alaboy, the British equivalent of the Pip-Boy. Got everything you need, and we even get a utility belt. We're not Batman, but we can still dream that we are Batman. We then have the most amazing thing of all, a villain using his manners in the land of Fallout. This is an unprecedented, and what an opponent he'll be. His name? Mr. Smythe, after a toy company here in Britain, but a true professional of his craft, must say. So I had to be careful, and of course he gives us a sporting chance, so we'll use our manners as well towards Mr. Smythe. So thank you, Mr. Smythe. After getting various equipment, we use the ticket machine. As a sidebar, tickets are the main currency here, not bottle caps. We get aboard a train and see London in its beautiful, beautiful glory. And after a short while, the title hits, and now we can explore the game. However, there is a train crash and we have lab rats, so we take 10% more damage. Not good, but hints we can find a remedy for it. And we also have a broken spine in the form of railway spine, so we do 10% less damage. Already, this mod is letting us know to prepare for the worst, and I'm loving it. But it's a standard day in London, really. We see some gentlemen around and they let us tag along and give us the rundown. We need to defeat the gentry, the upper class. Chances are it's run by Mr. Smythe, and for those outside the UK, I'll try my best to explain the terminology and the slang terms like one of these factions, the Tommies. Tommies come from Tommy Atkins, aka a British soldier from World War I, and in modern times we call them Toms. As we get escorted by Sebastian Gorn and his merry men, we get a Bale Song knife. Might do a challenge run with this in future along with the flintlock pistol, but then it's time to get our hands dirty, literally by boxing a ghoul. They really buffed these ghouls, but thankfully we staggered them, but oh boy, are they nails. However, the medkit is gained and the others are gone, but due to our intelligence, we save Ricky. Now, we have to save ourselves, so I think it's time we find a doctor and get our damage back up to 100%. So we decide to go beat a couple of hooligans for some basic armour pieces, and then we see the one and only Churchill, a British bulldog, and of course my inner Britishness comes in full swing. Churchill! I have waited for you, Churchill. You are amazing. Churchy! Hello? After we spoke to Churchill's owner, we say goodbye since his doggos attacked him, and a gentleman sings the anthem of our people. Well done, that man! Since the gentleman was quite abrasive when we asked for a doctor, we go inside. There's a workers' strike, so we speak to the manager, who looks like Charlie in the chocolate factory, and say to promote the man and tie his wages to sales, making him an area manager. It works out beautifully and gives us a level up. So we have a total of 2 level ups, and the level up screen is the same perks as Fallout 4, but with the New Vegas menu. It works really well, actually. We decide to go for Iron Fist, so punching does 20% more damage, and then we go for Blacksmith rank 1 to upgrade our early game armor. 2 basic but essential perks. And also our health has gone up since we're level 3, so this is really good. We then go exploring, and just like regular old London, we start beating more sand shrews and hit level 4 thanks to exploring. We beat the sand shrews and it makes me think of Pokemon, the sand shrew from there. Adorable things, but we get the Slayer perk to increase our attack speed by 25%. Now we're rolling. We speak to a Tommy. He advises us, although we didn't hear it from him, we can use the back doorway through the tunnel. So we do exactly that. It's not the easiest, but after some vermin are dealt with, we meet some folks. I can only describe them as human Mirelurks, and they're called Fame Folk after the River Thames in London. They seem nice enough, so we hear them out and we have to go and help the ferryman down the elevator, so it's off to some more combat. And I suppose after all the experience, they'll be very welcome indeed. There's a pleasant surprise here as well. Mitten lurks, in the memory of Mitten Squad. May he rest in peace. He was the best challenge runner amongst us, so thank you, Fallout London, for the respect he deserves. He certainly paved the way forwards, so my utmost respects to him. Tying the Easter eggs, we blow up the tunnel and manage to report back and get ourselves some boxing glove, making this unarmed playthrough get off the ground, and hopefully a world's first in Fallout London's unarmed challenges. But it's time we get some medical treatment after handing this quest in. Dr. Allen manages to fix our spine, so thank you, Dr. Allen. We're dealing regular damage again. And as for the ferryman, he needs bed rest, but sends us to find Archie, who is a lab extrain just like us. So we make haste. In order to find our contact, we have to take out some Mirelurk nests, and then we meet a boy called Archie. He gives us the story, and for trying to help him, he gives us a revolver, the ferryman's friend. And with everything sorted, we depart back to our friend, and he needs the gate open. So Radroaches say hello, Radroaches, and we get a 005 skill mag, making us harder to detect. 005 is an Easter egg to James Bond since he's 007, so lovely stuff for those who haven't seen James Bond. Anyway, the terminal gets the way open and we upgrade our armor a little and depart on the boat. Yes, you can use boats in this mod, although I think it's just a one-time thing. And the trains, well, yes, they are pretty awesome as well. So thank you, Team Folon. After we have our little boat ride, we are in rough shape. However, we do level up, and thankfully there is a bed nearby, so a quick nap and we're sorted. It's then time to go see the London Bridge, and when we get there, beef eaters. The proper name for the beef eaters in real life is Yeomen Warders. They guard the Tower of London, and they are no joke. They have over 2 decades of experience and a spotless record. And the reason they're called beef eaters is because of their large ration of beef they received as their pay back in Tudor times. However, in Fallout, they are cannibals, so kind of makes sense, and this is very frightening to go up against. Lucky for me though, my insanity makes me immune to the frightened condition, so it's no problem. But credit where credit is due, these guys hit really hard, but a bit of a run round and a few knockout punches, they're done for. But blocking is even more important in this mod than ever before, so go figure. After the evil beef eaters are done for, not doing their duty and all that, we managed to find some knuckle dusters, and we have the materials to upgrade it to bladed knuckle dusters. So now we're less like Batman and more like Wolverine from Marvel in the City of London. I guess it just works, but we head back to the bridge, use the upper part to get to the other side of the river, and our bladed knuckle dusters are doing great. For some reason, weapon mods don't appear on weapon, but they still kill just fine, so I'm not complaining one bit. We then run into another enemy called Gatherers, and well, they try to rob us. This is the London experience, ladies and gentlemen, in full swing. So we run around punching them one by one. Thankfully they don't have guns, and it is a bit to the wire for the most part, but we do enough and Churchill is somewhere as everyone gets KO'd. But we loot them, and we have beautiful capes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we have capes in Fallout London. This is amazing. Well done, and thank you, Team Folon. It once again fantastic. Our headgear gets upgraded, we carry on after meeting with the ferryman, and we are tasked with going to the lab. However, knowing the fighting is going to be intense, I decide to opt for helping the vagabond to gain a bit of experience beforehand, since it's best to be prepared after all. However, the game crashes, but it was worth it since the game decided to show weapon upgrades on the knuckle dusters, so thank you, game. It's then time for our next mission. It's taken out a scout, so we make our way, kill them and kill some more hooligans. We run around doing errands for the vagabonds, and before long we're then chucked into the front lines to go find a vet. Our search leads to a tunnel and a lot of drowned ghouls, and it's kind of got a horror element to it and is absolutely amazing. And after a bit of a tense moment, the game has the best thing in Fallout, a tea station, ladies and gentlemen. We can craft tea. Once we are free, we level up and get solar power, so we get +2 strength and endurance whilst the sun is beaming down on us. It's going to help us out a bit with our Wolverine knuckle duster, and as you can see on screen, our stats can roll over 10, making us really good with stabby cuffs. We then find Yvette. Well, our stats aren't good enough to know what's going on, so a brawl ensues, but like we said, we're getting pretty good at brawling. The radio man says we did a good job. We go back to see Gorn and the quest bugs out, so we can't actually progress this quest line anymore. So yeah, you know, Fallout London is still in the early days. But we get to the War Memorial, lots of machine gun turrets here, but we do get the door open, and well, I thought a deathclaw was bad, but this is a whole new level of horror. Ladies and gentlemen, Resident Evil Man is here. After a few attempts, I realised just how important the block function is in Fallout 4, and well, the results are pretty awesome. The streets of London teach us to block against super clone zombies, a sentence I never thought I'd say. But we get to the terminal, and after defeating our large Resident Evil foe and find a commando knife, absolutely loving this, we shut the lab down from the terminal. We have a chat to our little group and decide to go to St. Paul's, and when we get there, there's a lot of hooligans and we're tasked with taking out the leader. After defending Sanctuary, I guess they have a Sanctuary in London too, so go figure. But after wrecking some Mr. Handies and a couple of raiders, we hit level 8, and this perk I decided to go for Ghoulish, since food's our main source of healing and radiation is another source of healing, so we can't argue with that. We rock up to the church, do what we do best, punching people, kind of our thing at this point. The target is dealt with, no problem, and with VATS, which is video assisted targeting systems, that little detail there is pretty awesome, so well done mod creators. With the mission complete, we go report back to Lieutenant Frenchman, and before anyone comments, Lieutenant is the French way of saying the rank that everyone uses. However, the UK says Lieutenant, and we're in London, so there you go. After arriving in St. Paul's Cathedral, we talk to the bishop. He's not what I expected, a very nice character. He even offers to pay us a bunch of tickets. He says to speak to the priest under him, so we do, and he's not willing to disturb someone's room. So he advises that we do that instead and start questioning people, including Gordon Ramsay. A nice little Gordon Ramsay Easter egg there, a very famous British chef. But after a few investigations, we get to the grave diggers, and we go to the assistant and find our final clue. We find the stash and have to go to the beef eaters, aka London cannibals. Anyway, as creepy as they are, we have to do the usual punching and thuggery against them. Then we go to a restaurant to swipe holotape. It plays out a deal, but before it gives us the location, we get Lazarus, the man we're looking for, recording on the holotape. So we take a lesson out of the hooligan's handbook, get into a bar fight and serve them on a platter. Then we track down the men, and 10 strength is enough to avoid a fight and free Lazarus. He tells us where to go, and we hit level 10. I decide to go for Scholar, so as long as we read something once a day, we gain 100 XP. every single day. And it's really that simple and pretty awesome. We go ahead and travel to the Tommies. As I said earlier, Tommy means a soldier and Americans are called Yanks and so on. But British slang aside, we go in and once again, whoever did this mod, amazing. We see Colonel George Major. He gets in front of the general and they want some hooligans dealt with, and these guys are pretty much the British version of the NCR. So with that, we scope the place out, pick up a side quest to kill more hooligans. So task in hand, it's time to put our Wolverine vigilante methods to the test for a gas mask and XP, of course. First up is our side quest, lots of punching, going into buildings, giving them a knuckle duster to the face, making a knuckle sandwich, all that good stuff. As long as we can close the gap, it's all good. And Churchill, the awesome little doggo, is doing a great job at tying the enemies up to let our fists slam into them. We batter more raiders like a bit of fish and chips in the name of Her Majesty, and apparently there's a queen in Fallout London, so God save the queen. We get a level up and it's time for Life Giver, since it will regen our health at max rank, but for now it's a straight plus 20 HP, so can't argue with that. The last of the hooligans are cleared up. Miss Finster from Recess would be proud, a very old reference right there, comment down below if you know it. And then it's over to the bank and it's night time, so the raiders want to stabby us, very accurate to London must say, but we are a vigilante. We have video game logic and video game perks, so they simply bought our bladed knuckle duster. Inside is a different story however, there is a lot of hooligans. The Tommies were right to call a mercenary to sort this place out, since it's crawling with these guys, and although they are very easy, since 'tis nothing but a scratch to us, we even find a skill mag that heals our radiation by plus 5%, so can't complain at all. As we go outside we find a TARDIS, a Doctor Who Easter egg, but moving on, we get several keycards to get into more areas of the bank. And well, punching is very effective, it gets the job done, but we managed to get everyone accounted for since no more gunfire, but there is a big vault door and there's a lady here, so it forced us to release her, and when we open the door and meet Kira, got to admit she's the one very deranged character. Take a listen.
Time travelers. Someone knew the war would happen
What?
and use future technology to travel
Are you
back in
kidding
time,
me?
break in and switch the ingots around. This gold would make them rich, even in the far future. They must have left the fake bars around so that they wouldn't have unintended effects on the space-time continuum. Very clever.
After Kira's time travelling theory, which isn't impossible in the world of Fallout, we go back to the Tommies and get our gas mask, so we're sorted. As for our side quests, it's beating a few more hooligans and we level up. I skipped the last perk point to save up for 2 perk points so we can get both Armourer rank 2 and Adamantium Skeleton rank 2. So now our limbs resist 60% damage. Pretty good, and Armor rank 2 allows us to upgrade our test subject suit to have some ballistic defences with a nice coat on top as well. Very spiffing, I must say. We definitely look like an English bobby or policeman to you lovely audience overseas, and we even have a monocle, which is simply excellent. Journeying onwards, a gentleman from Westminster is here and he is hilarious. Arthur wants to go with us, but maybe in another playthrough in the future, but for now, we leave him be. We go through the gate to Hackney and we're greeted with gunfire, so it's time to punch more people, and we are the people's police officer after all. First, we have more bar fights to establish law and order in this part of town. Some gatherers are looking very suspicious and attack us. They have violated the law, so they get a swift serving of justice as we get the cape again. I think at this point we're more Judge Dredd now because, well, Fallout's first judge, jury and executioner or something like that, I'm not sure. But we go through some neighbourhoods and even have to do a little running around in the sewer before going to a nicer area in Hackney, where another Easter egg is found. We found O'Brien and the BBM, or the British Broadcast Media, as well as Pipsy, aka Banksy, who is a street artist from Liverpool. Pretty cool stuff to add in the game right there. Once again, compliments to the mod, so there you go. A post boxer, yes, you heard that right, a post box that has a circular saw blade and power clamps is trying to box us, but we are certainly formidable, and well, this enemy is fantastic. Gotta love the design there. And also we get to level 14, so we get Life Giver rank 2, so a total of plus 40 HP from this perk. It's all good in the hood, and we go further on to this section of the neighbourhood, so it's time to put our gas mask on, courtesy of the Tommies, to make this possible. And we go underground, and these things are getting pretty interesting. We face a bunch of clones. It's not that bad, but the Resident Evil vibes are coming back, so might as well call Angel the Umbrella Corporation at this point. Mr. Smythe is back on the line and he doesn't want to let us in, so we go through a train and enter via the back door. We start to see the answers. Angel conscripts, the opposite of the Tommies, are here to face us in combat. As we rummage around like Judge Dredd, we find Mr. Smythe's own collection of miniatures, a callback to his name, and find our third cute Fulu. In this game you have collectibles and cute Fulus are one of them. But as we get towards the end of the place, Mr. Smythe has a James Bond-esque villainous plan to be rid of us. He gets away on the underground train and sends several super clones at us whilst the place is going to blow up. So I guess the second boss section is upon us in Fallout London. This is amazing. Take note, Fallout 4, this is how you make something stressful. So we have to go around and kill the super clones. Thankfully they are very slow. And VATS is an auto hitter melee, so they can't block. We do our best, and when we get to the area of the self-destruct sequence, we pull out arming, and well, it slowly lowers, the timer is still ticking, and we've done it. We stopped the timer with 8 seconds to spare, cured our condition, so we are now at 100%. Mr. Smythe has a very villainous speech, and says that London is ours if we're willing to pay the price, and that we should be kind to her. However, if we want to meet him, we have to go to the palace where all shall be revealed. Very ominous indeed. But all in all, the Institute wish they could be the bad guys like these are, because they know how to do villainy and they're pretty damn awesome at it. We take Mr. Smythe's advice and grind some levels, and first on our list is meeting an artificial intelligence called Terry in the British Museum. So we start taking out a lot, and I mean a lot, of Protectron. It takes a couple of tries, but when it's all done, we get to meet Terry and it's awesome, like so. Then it's over to Chinatown, killing a lot of ghouls, and I mean an absolute throng of ghouls, which gets us a level up since there's so many of them, but our unarmed is starting to get pretty serious now. Over to Trafalgar Square and accept some quests, and well, as I said earlier, some things aren't quite finished, and yeah, the dialogue with Giovanni is an example of that. But not to worry, we have some side jobs we can be getting on with, but then we managed to find an intelligence coaster, which acts exactly the same as a Fallout 4 bobblehead. So we add our level up to intelligence, making 10, and then the intelligent coaster makes 11. So intelligence is our highest base stat now. Also, the barkeep gives us a side quest to locate a keg in the local brewery, so it's off to sort our jobs out. So first up, the keg, since beer is beer and the pub needs it. So very straightforward, kill all the industrialists without going 6 feet under, get inside the brewery, deal with the vermin, and get our keg with the science coaster. It gives us one extra try on hacking terminals, which kind of meh, but hey, we'll take what we can get. We sort out the ballots. All we have to do is travel to City Hall, nab them, and then we beat the beefeaters on the bridge again for some experience, and this time they're a lot easier. And then we head on over to the farm, and it's a mystery solving quest. Someone has taken some food, and it's up to us to find out who it is. It's not long before the thief confesses, but it's kind of the damned if we do, damned if we don't sort of deal, since the guy's a former hooligan trying to do the right thing and saving the farm by bribing his former colleagues with food. So, you know, is what it is. So we have this horrible child, and well, we pin it on him. Everyone understands, good times, because he keeps saying foul language. Now we have to get Toby some signatures. All is going well. However, when we complete it, he gives a speech, and it's great and all, but the quest bugs out. Another time Fallout London's done that. But we can't complete this quest or progress it anymore, so we might as well get some new armor. We get ourselves some combat armor. It looks ridiculous, but will save us in a fight. So we put on our green duster and go about Westminster, the home of the gentry. All of them are a bunch of assholes who look down on everyone. The Tommy in the area gives us the go-ahead to investigate the crash site, since he says we're kind of useful, and yeah, this literally crashes the game. After solving the problem and rebooting the game, we're back in, and the one and only Mr. Smythe has been here. His hat and calling card are here, so we know where to find him. Very anonymous, but he is a senior civil servant. So upon arriving to Parliament, we meet an officer. He doesn't want to let us in, but after doing a job of eliminating some squatters on the other side of Westminster, he owes us a favour, and he says that we can enter, but we need signatures from the leaders of each borough to be a representative of London, tying back to what Mr. Smythe said about being kind to London. We can also forge the signatures if we have the cash. So we go off to each borough, and in Camden, this place has a gang called the Pistols. They are a nod to the Sex Pistols, and in Fallout London, they are a well-established punk gang, which is pretty damn cool. There's a reference to Liberty Prime's predecessor, and since this is set 40 years before Fallout 3, it is pretty damn cool. We go inside and it's a nightclub. However, their leader wants the council to put some infrastructure in place, such as schools and libraries, but they can't due to some hooligans. So it's the age-old, we scratch their back, they scratch ours. So we go to the school and do our punchy. Mike Tyson would be impressed because everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face after all. And in Fallout, it's very true. And after our adventures, we hit level 18 and go for Iron Fist rank 3. So we get more damage and we can now cripple people's limbs with punches. We return to the leader, use our intelligence to ask for her autograph so we can skip the quest line, and then we leave the Pistols be in a pretty cool faction indeed, might I say. Next up is Islington. Apparently there's a lot of ghouls, our favourite since they give bucket loads of XP. We speak to Miller and he wants us to honour a life debt. So we go over to St. Paul's and the guy is dying, so he has a final wish for us to see that his wife is killed. Sounds very bad, but she's been turned into a ghoul, so braving some tarjacks, a reference to Merchant Marine and Royal Navy, so good stuff. We have harsh radiation storms and waves of ghouls in the air. It's a lot of fun and really awesome, but we finally locate this mystery woman, Jane. Now, Jane is a glowing one and has mountains of HP. This is really bad for us, since she does our job better than us, so we use the ultimate tactic, cheese tactics, the one thing she can't do. We're just out of reach and do our Wolverine jabs, and this is gonna take a while. To our horror, she runs away, meaning more ghouls need to go, and we beat back her henchmen in an airport, because some things never change, and then Jane is back with a full health bar from the baggage claim area. The railings provide a way to kite her, and once again, a lot of punching. Afterwards, we have to visit the graveyard, and it's a sad state of affairs. However, Marshall does sign, so 2 signatures down, 1 more to go. We go to Old Hackney, and well, due to messing up the dialogue, we can't get Prince Pete to sign. Clearly, there's a bug afoot here, but luckily there is another way with using a bit of forgery. We take the letter from the top of his dresser, and since it is broken, and we have 1 more signature that we need to get signed, we just get it signed, and it's all good. Thank you to the Mr. Forger. The last guy we need, I don't even know what to say here, but we beat back a bunch of cultists trying to beat us with a stick. Guess they heard of us at the very least. But when we get to this camp, it's peaceful, but it's a what the actual Friar Tuck moment. We decide to just use our strength to pass the check. With all the signatures gained, we go back to the forger, get our forged signature, and now we can finally get into Parliament. However, the guard we spoke to earlier, nowhere to be seen and very suspicious. Angel Troopers though, aka the Umbrella Corporation, they say we need to use the discreet entrance. We do exactly that and, well, we know what's coming, it's an obvious trap. And what you know, we get a conveyor belt system exposing the evil lair whilst we're trapped helpless. Can't help but think this is relevant in the UK. We've come full circle to every Elder Scrolls game by being a prisoner. We make this guard wait for a full day and turns out he actually wants to help us out and wants Mr. Smythe dead. Quite unexpected actually. He gives us the science key to go find Mr. X, and that is his actual name in this game. I think this is an XCOM crossover, ladies and gentlemen. Anywho, we explore the cell and find a bobby pin and a chisel. We use the chisel to dig through the wall and crawl through into the next cell. We decide, because we're both British, to just randomly chat to this person, since it was a dialogue option after all, and the writing in this game is impeccable. The cells here are very, very dark. However, we managed to get out of the cell thanks to our cellmate picking the lock, and of course a police officer tries to destroy us. But we are doing an unarmed build, so we fare extremely well and actually overpower him with ease, and his mask has very good defences, so now we have a vigilante mask, and for flavour we just take his uniform, pose as a policeman and very quickly get our stuff back, and for some reason our equipment shows on our character now, so we look pretty good, gotta say. The police here remind me of Mike Myers from the movie Halloween. It's like multiple Mike Myers are trying to kill us, and we do have to use the light to see what we're doing, but we managed to pancake all of them into the ground because fisticuffs is our bread and butter. After we escape, we appear out of a bookcase in the police station, and the guard who spoke to us said to go to the Science Museum. So it's off to the Science Museum to fight some Protectrons in the street, because science. We face more Protectrons, because science. And then we see Angel Conscript, because, again, science. But with violence, the conscripts are dead. We get to see the one and only Mr. X. He explains the clone we met is the only one who obeyed him because he had free will, which was a discrepancy in the process. And he wanted to kill Mr. Smythe, so now it's our job to plant a bomb to, well, kill Mr. Smythe. Although hopefully we can fisticuff him, so just like that, off we go. We go to the medieval tournament located nearby in Westminster, and Mr. X lets us know about the explosive in the locker. Almost too convenient, and then we see a certain clone we met earlier, and I decide the less we know the better and crack on. The cutscene plays out. Now comes the interesting bit where we can choose which side we want to go with. Because Mr. Smythe's office is closest to us, we go speak to him, and of course he's an elusive dick, so the meeting takes place over the phone. He wants us in his organisation, but his decisions up to this point have been all over the place, making me think he is a clone of sorts of us, or vice versa. And if you remember at the start, we were woken of that, and I just decided to throw a spanner in the works, since my theory is we're a clone of Mr. Smythe, or vice versa, so let's annoy him and throw him for a loop, and refuse. The result, he still lets us pick up an address to continue, but yeah, we'll ignore him, become the Punisher, and don't know how many times we change our superhero identity, but it's time for us to head to the 5th column. Level ups are here, and we go for a bloody mess, because that's what Mr. Smythe's brains is going to be. Then it's over to the 5th column, and well, we see a recruiter, and a robot takes us to see some important people, and we agree to join the 5th column, and just like that, we're in. We see our CO, and what a gentleman, and we have to go to Trafalgar Square, now rustling elbows with these revolutionaries. First job is to get on Trafalgar Square's good side, so we meet with the pub, always a good place to start, get a quest, and we have to help a mother get her child back, and detective work is in order to get a gentleman to reveal a journal, and once we're done, we go over to the journal, go and pick it up, and then we go hand it in. And now we go back to this human child, this person, and he decides gang life ain't for him, and good riddance because he ain't the thug life, man. And his mother thanks us, and we're all good. We get a lead to another quest, and this time a doctor. They need resources and fast, so first things first, we need another doctor here to tackle the injuries. We decide to use our level up, go into charisma, have a cup of tea, a pot of tea, probably Yorkshire tea people, and we convince the doctor to work again. We report back and have to recruit someone called Giovanni. So we crack on, speak to Giovanni, and he is certainly suspicious. So a street brawl ensues, and when all is said and done, we report back to our man, and he says, cool, and we're sent back to HQ, and we get some new orders. Next up, we have Eve's daughter, Lily. Now, one of the agents in charge of field missions is also in charge of educating her. So he tells us we're getting some textbooks for her, so it's off to the library. And since we've been here before, it's easy pickings. We get the book and slip away. And when we get back, we deliver the book, but turns out politics causes an argument. Shocking, I know. However, credit where credit is due, these two ended up arguing for over a week. We have to wait around due to a bug, so after trial and error, the bug finally passes. The argument is finally over. Lily, however, isn't off the hook. Her mother Eve, leader of the 5th column, burns the book and makes a mockery of John, who's a good person, and even asks to accompany us. But Churchill is a doggo, and it's very nice for him to offer though, but doggos are amazing. The next thing is kind of questionable. There's been someone who has immunity to tunnel cough, and it's a little girl, so we tell her a pretty bad lie, saying there's an original art piece in the 5th column, and well, she's the daughter of the doctor who made our back all better. Not the most honourable way of getting a doctor in there, but hey, if that's what it takes to cure the equivalent of a zombie virus, so be it. Eve then wants us to conduct an investigation to uproot some spies in the fifth column. Why? Don't know, but she ordered us to do it, and for some reason Churchill's gone on vacation and Dogmeat is here instead. No idea why, but Fallout London, ladies and gentlemen. 2 doggos are better than 1 after all, so we can use Dogmeat, but for some reason Churchill is not around. Kind of odd, really. We report into the locations we're given, but the Camelot Lights decide to ambush us. We overpower them, and gotta give them props for trying after all, and after that we report back, and we have to go see an undercover agent who resides in a tavern, so we make haste to see all the D&D references. The undercover agent decides to ambush Lancelot, just like the knights did to us, giving them a taste of their own medicine. We take out some beef eaters and ghouls, and one of them has a legendary boxing glove with a chance to stagger, so, yeah, don't mind if we do. It all goes off without a hitch, doing the usual punchy in many people's faces. We hit Lancelot to shut him up, but as we go back to the hideout, everyone starts attacking us, and well, they weren't really up to the task, so we clear the way since we need hard evidence, and hard evidence we do find. But we also find a new helmet, a Baron helmet, given a pretty substantial defense, so we are looking pretty awesome, kind of like a random soldier from the Dark Ages, or the Tarnished, I must say, from the Dark Souls. It's pretty cool, and well done Fallout London team. On a personal note, this is probably my favourite helmet. We even have a red cape to match, so what's not to love? Back at base, we hand in the report, and the spy is revealed thanks to some letters. Eve is impressed, not even knowing there was a spy, and just said to do it. I'm starting to think she's not the best leader at this point. So she now wants us to destroy Miller, so we go to Islington, and due to us having 10 strength, everyone thinks we are one tough cookie, and the Yard boys follow us into the HQ, allowing us to box our way through, no problem, and it becomes quite the brawl since we have so many Yard boys. It's like 40k orcs having a scrap, but humans versus humans, I guess. Miller is eventually reached, and he says to settle it in the ring, so we go in with our bare fists, along with our armour, and start boxing. It's actually really easy, as we have Slayer rank 2 at this point, so we attack 50% faster in melee. And Miller really doesn't like this, since he gets the ever-living snot beat out of him, so there you go, he doesn't like the punchies. When all is concluded, the Yard boys are with us, although Lily, an 11-year-old girl, yeah, she gets her first kill and becomes a murderer, and certainly I'm not too sure about the fifth column anymore. However, Mr. Smythe is mentioned. He is now the one in charge and has decided to abolish Parliament. Honestly, I'm surprised a Parliament is still going on in the apocalypse, and Eve states we need an emergency meeting. We meet her right-hand man, and she says whoever is in charge of the Tommies controls London, and she's kind of correct there since they are the remnants of the army. So we're going to see what we can do, and she has the bright idea to stage a coup. I wish we could do a Tommy victory, but that's not in the game. Hopefully that might change in the future, since Fallout London is in early days, so what can you do? We decide to rock up to Westminster with some soldiers in tow and decide to take on Buckingham Palace. This is not a great idea because these guards are veterans of many tours, especially being ghouls. By the way, this is also true in real life. The palace guards are no joke. They have actually seen many war tours and act on behalf of royalty, so if you annoy them, they can actually shoot you if they really want to. So we run inside the courtyard and decide to just hell with that and start pummeling the royal guards. They are very high level and have a lot of HP, but the thing saving us here is we can disarm them and then go into fisticuffs in melee with them. They also have power armor frames, the first I've seen thus far in this playthrough. Wouldn't mind some, but minor spoilers. There is a character later on who has some amazing power armor, but for now we're punching people with Wolverine claws. It works well enough, and we get through a metric ton of healing items, and thank God we had pizza because this is healing us very, very well. However, attacking the Buckingham Palace is, yeah, gotta say, as a British YouTuber, it feels very wrong. Anyway, we hammer the point home in their faces, and 45 minutes later, we begin to storm the palace and do a guided tour whilst we're at it. So, combat can be a civilised thing if you want it to be. We eventually get to Princess Elizabeth, easy peasy, but then we get her mother, Queen Victoria, an elite glowing one, nightmare mode for us. But once again, we get for our healing items, and I can't help but draw parallels to Elden Ring here, us being the Tarnished versus the Golden Order in an epic battle. But, rolling back to Fallout, we beat the Queen. Our reward, we see the new rulers of London, the royal doggos, ladies and gentlemen. The Queen had doggos, and now they're finally free, so it was worth it in the end. But after a quick cup of tea, Eve decides we need to take over the British broadcast media in about damn time as well. We meet with Horatio and we both storm the BBM. It's got a lot of round heads, we like to use service revolvers, and helmets. They are pretty high level, so it's more punches. I think we all know the drill by now. Anyway, it's time to head to the LT Tower, and well, Angel, aka the Umbrella Corporation of Fallout, are here, and it's the same old, but this time we have backup, so things are going our way. Then when all is said and done, Eve shows up with Lily to order us to clean the upper floors, so it's like Fallout 4 at the Mass Fusion building, but reversed. We fight our way through with our elite squad. It's actually a simple task, and we find the robot thing, and what do you know, the holotape makes it friendly to us, so we now speak to it. And I think we have a tyrant in the making. Poor Lily is shut down, and as death threats are made against the other faction, Eve, gotta say, you're not a great parent, not a great example to Lily. However, Fallout London then decides to do a whoopsie and makes us fall to our deaths. We reload and we're stuck. Once we go through the files and fix the issue, we level up and get Ghoulish rank 2. This combines very nicely with solar powered, so Rads and Sunlight heal us. But we go back to the 5th column, and well, now they want to attack Camelot. So we prepare for an attack and we do our thing and take out most of the enemy. As a shock trooper, getting XCOM/assault/ranger class vibes for this mission here, but we meet them and the devastation is real. Lots of enemies need punching, and we are the ones who punch them, so good times. After we break inside, we get Merlin, who has an AMP. Eve's prosthetic limbs then malfunction, and got to admit, very smart move. We just unlock him, and he's not very bright, and he even has the audacity to wear the Special Air Service beret. You are not worthy, Merlin. You have not done the Special Forces training. And then we just make sure to loot it off him and take it for ourselves. We find a secret tunnel and start going through, and thankfully some Rads are here and they heal us and straighten us back up. Then we get some gorgeous power armor, the set I was on about earlier being a minor spoiler, owned by the one and only King Arthur. He is the leader of the Camelot faction, and if only we could use his power armor, but alas, we have to go up against it. So we go ahead and do the forbidden tactic of ultimate cheese. We dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. Yes, it's death by 1,000 cuts, and he wasn't too bad. It just took a while since the bleed damage takes a little bit of time, but it's not over yet. We now have to beat his levies, and this is the tough bit because there's a lot of them. So when we're outside, we beat one of his knights to get some shoulder armor, giving us +2 strength, an amazing find. And we back up to the tournament ground to, you guessed it, do more cheese and eliminate the muskets, because they really hurt and do a lot of damage, but take an awful long time to reload. Eventually, the bows and arrows, including a couple of horses, are dealt with, since they're a funny bunch. And then it's time to do a Mike Tyson yet again and punch every last melee unit to the ground. It took a while, and the melee can be blocked, so it takes a fair bit of patience, but we succeed, ladies and gentlemen. The tea saved us, but Eve is on a stretcher and promotes us to senior admin. So we decide Horatio is to be let go, since he is a turncoat, but he did help us out, so rather than kill him or make him go in a prison cell, we let him have his freedom. But now it's time for the finale. We have 7 days, so we wait it out, and since we're level 30 at this point, we have everything we need and then some. So it's off to Westminster Bridge in order to finish this. We see Eve, and she explains we'll be heading up a forward vanguard unit, acting as shock troops to clear the way for the main force. Once she finishes, the prompt appears just like in New Vegas, and we have a fresh cup of Yorkshire Gold in real life, so we're ready. Let's do this. The first thing is going through the tunnels, and boy oh boy do Angel come in strong with a lot of automatic fire. This took a lot of attempts, mainly because of all the machine gun fire hitting us at once. However, we do manage just about when we go towards the gunfight and start halting them in the train to beat them little by little. As they come out, this gets them down to bite-sized group, allowing us to take them out. And once that's done, we go to the streets and same thing, but we quickly take out a few of them so we can hide out in the building to charge. Then we take one, get our HP, rinse and repeat. So far so good, but my word, we're doing a lot of hit and run tactics and getting through healing items. Now that we open the gates, we storm the main plaza, and this took so many attempts because the enemy tossed an absurd number of grenades. Fallout London devs, please can you just fix the amount of grenades the enemies chuck, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we get through the last of our healing items, and yeah, we take out the Angel troopers, but we're getting dangerously low with healing items. Once that was done, I was hoping we could lead the final charge into the main area. However, now we have to go to all the political buildings. So first up, it's off to 10 Downing Street. Who knows, we might meet the Prime Minister. However, it's more Angel forces, and we absolutely take a pummeling. However, the 5th column are here to help, thankfully, but grenades just destroy them, so it's back to the old reliable Mike Tyson way of boxing the enemy. It works like a charm, and we even level up, getting Iron Fist rank 4, so we deal 80% damage with our fists. And now that we're doing what we need to do, we can take more of the enemy out. And after 4 crashes, you heard that right, 4 crashes, we make our way to open the gate to get more reinforcement. Yep, and 4 crashes set us back 6 hours. So a little tinkering with the files, and we're back from where we started. We fight more Angel troopers in Piccadilly Circus and Regent Street in order to get through to the BBM. And we do that, which is great. However, after waiting at a bus stop to utilise solar powered, we're back in the Shadow Realm, and this is actually becoming a problem. So we have to go into the files once again and get back to where we once were. But we managed to take out the Angel troopers in the area and get the flag raised, so all is good. I'm going to say this next bit has one hell of a difficulty spike, and honestly, it just sucks since an open area, and as a melee character, it doesn't feel great. So we managed to get to Westminster, and it's night time, and we have to go inside, so not a problem. But this open area is really painful to do and took me 2 hours, since the super clones tie you up and grenades are thrown so frequently you can't stay still. And if you go behind cover, you get bullets aimed at you and more grenades. So if you want to live, you need to have a metric ton of healing items. It just feels bad, but we just sliver about, and eventually we manage to do enough hit and run and just overheal the damage, so all is good. We do this 2 or 3 more times in the open spaces because it's just absolutely huge, and use the pillars to our advantage. However, once all this is done, we then get the twist. Anyone who doesn't want the finale spoiled or the plot, please switch off the video now or click another video on the side there. You have been warned. So I'll give a little countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You good? Yep. Okay. Okay, spoiler time. Parliament is run by clones of Mr. Smythe. We are such a clone as stated in the beginning when we were created in the vat. However, we are the only one who actually rebelled against the plan. They try and put us on trial, but they can't because we grabbed the royal scepter, so laws can't be passed, as we are the beholder of the scepter. And then we decide a little bit more combat and fight our way through more Angel troops. And then we get to a lift and we have to deposit all of our weapons, and then we go up the lift, and lo and behold, we finally meet the Mr. Smythe from the beginning, the one who tried to destroy us, and we asked all the questions. We get answers, but if you want to see all the answers, you're going to have to play Fallout London yourself. But since we came up here, we have no weapons, only a poisoned umbrella. And of course, as per the rules, we can't use the poisoned umbrellas, and we have no stimpaks. So no boxing gloves or Wolverine fists, you dastardly bastard, Mr. Smith. So our epic duel commences. Smith vs. Smith, Brolly vs. Bare Fist. He isn't actually too difficult, however we have to watch out since our health is what it is. But we have some beer and start brawling the first round, and it's not too bad. Smith is pretty tough and has a skull next to him, but just like us, he's limited to melee, so our fists are faster and we can blitz him no problem thanks to Slayer, giving us faster attack speed. But his health bar's gone, but since he's the final boss, he gets it completely refilled since the bells toll. And it's round 2, so we do exactly the same, but this time we use VATS to interrupt him as his power attacks are deadly, and our persistent pays off since he is done for and hangs in the balance. However, since he controls Parliament, we spare him for the greater good. Ending the run, answering the question, can you beat Fallout London in an unarmed playthrough? And yes, absolutely, but I've got to say it's no easy feat. Do it at your own peril, ladies and gentlemen. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Fallout London. Something a little different, certainly a fresh coat of paint for Fallout. This did drop right in the middle of our Templar playthrough in XCOM 2, and I did start a new job as well, so it's actually been quite hectic to get this out. I will be cracking on with that, and we also have a fun Cyberpunk video coming out, which is every single unit as Adam Smasher, the final boss. I hope you all enjoy that. It's all been as brutal as hell, and by Jove, I approve of Fallout London. Now, I will say, would I play it again? Absolutely. Would I recommend it to you all? Unfortunately not, since it's so buggy and I actually had to do some programming to actually get it to work, and it is a pain in the bum. However, give it a couple of months because the 1.01 update is already live. It does still have some problems, but I will say if you can get past the crashes and get past the problems, it's an absolute delight and pleasure to play. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you Team Fallout London. This Fallout in the UK is just a blimmin' marvel, and it's an absolute miracle and by far the best mod, hands down, I've ever played. But I'm gonna have to say it's probably one of the best mods I've played for the longest time. But most of all, just you guys at home, thank you for watching. You're awesome. You make this channel possible. I'm very sorry I've been absent. I've been absolutely busy. It's been absolute wave after wave of labour and starting a new job and all that stuff. However, thank you for your time today. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe learn a thing or two about British culture. I don't know. But thank you very much. I've been in the same frame, and it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. So if you made it this far, well, I can only say I'm speechless. So have a great day. Look after yourselves. You're all amazing. Stay tuned for the next challenge. And yeah, it's going to be the XCOM 2 Templar run. So thank you and good night. Have a good one, everybody.